Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alex. If you don't know me, I am a cozy content creator embracing all quiet moments and cozy corners. Welcome back to my channel. This is my fourth weekly wrap up. Actually, I think it's my third. I need to go back and look. Either way, I am so excited to be putting out a new vlog. Um, all that to say that I haven't really done much. I've just been taking it very slow and easy these past couple of weeks. I feel like at the beginning of the year, when I got sick, and then in February, I was sick again. I've just been trying to slow down and relax through it all. Um, so these past couple of weeks have not been too eventful. It's just been really about recentering myself, trying to recenter my home. I've moved a couple of prints around. I've framed a couple of prints of mine. I actually hope to do like a quick little tour or a tour someday of like all my art prints once they're all fully put together. Um, but yeah, it's been a lot of recentering. It's been a lot of just, yeah, being present with myself and not too much out and about outside. So a couple of clips, and funny enough, I'm still working on the vlog here. But a couple of things that I did do. My mom came and visited my sisters and I, so that was great. So I documented a little bit of that, a little mommy and me time, a little bit of fam time, you could say. So we did that. What else? A little retail therapy. Um, I actually attended one of my close friends' birthdays, Leah, whom I mentioned in my last post. Leah, another shout out too. I love you. But she threw a beautifully put together 27th birthday party, and so it was very nice, to attend, to be with her, to be with her family, to be with friends, and having a great time. I think that was the most like social activity I did over the past 2 weeks. Aside from that, just doing a lot again of recentering and just, yeah, recentering my house as well. Not only just myself, but recentering my house. So a lot of cleaning, a lot of home chores, just taking it slow and easy. Um, yeah. So, Something else though that I really want to do is talk to y'all more about like the books that I'm reading, because obviously most of my shots, a good handful of my shots, are me reading in a coffee shop, me reading on the bus, me reading in my office, me reading here at home. And I really want to talk more about like the books and the pieces of literature I'm reading, and really what I'm going to get into more recently are Chicano Latino pieces of literature. So let me show y'all my stack that I'm going through right now. So I got them here. Funny enough, I believe all of them, actually no, two of them were Christmas presents. So I'm still trying to make my way through them. Is anyone else a procrastinator? Yes, guilty as charged. So this is my stack of books that I'm going through, Chicano slash Latino literature. So this first one that I'm reading is called The Mexican American Experience in Texas by Martha Menchaca. Actually, I got this last fall at the Texas Book Festival, and it was printed by, oh, my bookmark. It was printed by the UT Press, which is amazing. But yes, so the book really details the exploration of what the title says, the exploration of Latinos, Tejanos here in Texas, and the long history, the battle and fight regarding, our status here in this state. And I really love this book so far. I mean, I'm just only like 23 pages in, but that's okay. But what I really love so far about this book is that it's not highlighting just these key influential people regarding, the struggle, and within the struggle and the long history of Chicanos, Latinos, Tejanos specifically, but it details the more pivotal events as opposed to narrowing it down and associating, achievements to one person, which I feel like sometimes books similar to this or pieces of literature similar to this will often do. And I like this because, one, I am a big history nerd. I'll say that first and foremost. Actually, let me check. Okay, sorry. Just checking if the microphone's still on. But I'm a big history nerd. I actually graduated with a bachelor's of arts and global studies and a minor in history. So if you're a history fanatic, if you love pieces of literature as such, you're going to love this one. hold on one moment. You're definitely going to love this one. And I feel like it's really important because over the years, sorry, my ADHD is getting to me, but just over the years, okay, there we go. Just over the years, as I've been pursuing, higher education as well, I have found myself as being the only Latina, in certain spheres, and you really don't like acknowledge that uncomfortness until it's like you're in it. And especially for me, someone who came from a very small country town, a rural town here in South Texas, that was predominantly white. Yeah, finding myself in those circles, those moments where I was the only woman of color, queer woman of color, I felt very disconnected as well with that identity because obviously it's the first thing people see. At the same time, they would not know, you would not know that I'm considered no sabo. So I'm part of the diaspora of Latinos who did not really grow up very tied, immersed within their culture. And, I'm in my mid to late 20s, and I really do want to continue to explore that side of myself, my culture, my background, because it wasn't afforded to me. I didn't have that privilege. And if it is something that I really want, which I do, like I do have to take the time aside to dedicate towards learning about it. And so I have decided to do that through a hobby of mine that I love, which is reading. So yeah, this is why I'm dedicating more time to pieces again of Latino history, culture, media. So yeah, if you are at all interested, I would definitely recommend this book. Again, I'm barely like 23 pages in, but I really love it, especially because it gives such a specific, detailed exploration of Latinos, Tejanos, like here in Texas, which I feel like has been very mulled over by, again, colonialist pieces of history. So yeah, if you are interested in that, I definitely would recommend The Mexican American Experience in Texas. Uh, by, again, Martha Menchaca and published by the University of Texas Press. So yeah, another piece of literature that I really want to read is by Jacques Lafaye, or Jack. No, it's French. I should know how to pronounce this because I took 3 semesters of French in college, but whatever. By Lafaye, Quetzalcoatl, and Guadalupe, the formation of Mexican national consciousness between 1531 and 1831. What really motivated me to get this book is my growing sense of spirituality, as I've been growing my sense of identity with my culture. So I wouldn't call myself a witch. I wouldn't call myself Catholic, but I guess along the lines of Mexican Catholic folklore practitioner, you could call me. I do dedicate myself, my life, to La Virgencita, the Virgin of Guadalupe. If any of y'all are familiar with her, I'm sure many Latinos are. But yes, and in growing that sense of spirituality and this sense of myself as, again, a queer woman of color, I thought it was very important, again, to explore more pieces of literature that do grow on this national consciousness, excuse me, of who La Virgen is, who Guadalupe is, and her, her historical ties back to, pre-colonial communities such as the Aztecs, the Mayas, and so forth. So I'm really excited to get into this. I actually did start, and y'all can hate me if y'all want to, but I did start a little bit, and I am usually not someone who writes in my books, but for me, again, growing my sense of spirituality and self, like I wanted to take notes down to really both question myself and really just overall practice my critical thinking with authors. Yeah, so if you are at all interested, this is again another book I would recommend. I don't know how much it cost. Again, this was a Christmas gift from my mom. But yeah, so I definitely would recommend that. And then last but not least, again, as I mentioned, describing the previous book of Quetzalcoatl and Guadalupe, I've been growing in my sense of not just spiritualism, but also in my sense of identity. as I explained, describing the Mexican American experience in Texas. So I wanted to learn more about the gods and symbols of ancient Mexico and the Mayan. So I got this book as well, gifted to me for Christmas, and this is by Mary Miller and Karl Taube. Yeah, so it just explores the myths and beliefs of the great pre-Columbian civilizations of Mexico America, again, before colonialism. Um, yeah, and I feel like it's so important really to explore these types of literature as the world continues to push towards a more deconstructed colonial mindset. But I feel like it's very near, dear, and important to me. I do have a master's in Indigenous People Law and Studies. JIS. That's my sister. Sorry. I feel like it's so awkward sometimes when I'm filming like at home in my like the peace and comfort of my home, like around my siblings, because I'm like, I don't like yap and just like empty out my brain to them the way that I do to my vlogs. One, because they're not interested in like any of this topic, so it's like, but like this again, back to like my vlogs and why I started, has been such a creative outlet for me that I feel like my family not necessarily is ready yet to see that side of me. But also maybe I'm scared of them seeing that side of me, that side being seen, perceived by them. But yes, another book that I do plan to read related to Chicano, Latino, Mesoamerican studies is this book here, again by Mary Miller and Karl Taube, which is just exploring the great civilizations of Mesoamerica, Mesoamerica. I know I was pronouncing that incorrectly, Mesoamerica, pre-colonialism. And again, I feel like it's really important as many communities around the world, especially indigenous, are growing a larger platform, are as well connecting with other indigenous communities and people of themselves like me, are stepping more into that pre-colonial mindset because it just doesn't fit my way of life. I've been very obsessed with this idea of control, and that's again very a very white mindset to say the least, because the reality is that there's only so much we can control, but we don't control the entirety of life. The universe, whatever way it wants to serve, your experience, it'll do. And I think I've found a lot of freedom in that, and a lot of freedom to allow me to focus on the things that I can control, which is how I carry myself. So yeah, again, this is my stack of books that I will be reading hopefully over the next couple of weeks, maybe months. Again, I'm getting back into the swing of reading, so I really hope that I can get through these pieces of literature fairly quickly, only because I also have a big trip coming up. I am taking a solo trip to Mexico City for my birthday in May, so be on the lookout for that. I'm so excited. It has been such a long time since I've been on a trip, and I have actually never traveled out of the country before, so I'm really excited for that. And I've never traveled solo before, so I'm really excited for that. The only time I did travel solo was back around Thanksgiving last year to Houston, and that was an amazing time. Um, and I hope that I can continue to do that. Just solo traveling, meeting people with the same interests, and just creating those memories. So I am really trying to prepare for my trip to Mexico, just so I'm not this, I don't know, oblivious American, just going there, because I'm definitely not going there for like the margaritas and tacos. Granted, I'm definitely going to want to try mezcal and yes, the street tacos, but I hope you'll know what I mean. I really want to dive again further into the culture, exploring my culture, but also exploring the culture of Mexico. So come with me on my journey. But aside from that, yeah, let's get into the swing of the vlog. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah, so let's go.